Dax Harwood's family have been threatened. CM Punk is calling fans stalkers. And Rhea Ripley was mobbed outside her hotel. Stars from both AEW and WWE are now speaking up and saying out loud, some fans are going too far. But how did we get here, and what does respecting boundaries actually look like in wrestling today? I'm Ben Veal from Wrestling Life, and I wanted to dive into a situation and talk about some of those names that are calling for a change in fan behaviour. Really big topic in the wrestling space right now, which is receiving a ton of headlines, and rightly so. Stars from both WWE and AEW are imploring fans to leave them alone, respect boundaries, and give them some space. But how, oh how, did it all get so bad? CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, Dax Harwood have all had to take to their social media channels over the last month to ask fans to back off. Not because they hate the attention, but because it's going way too far. Some reactions are uncomfortable, and others are bordering on downright illegal. It's a situation that seems to be getting way out of hand. It seems to be getting way out of hand very, very fast, and it needs to be addressed, especially at a time when more eyes are on the wrestling product globally than ever before. Now, if you've been following social media over the last few days, you've probably seen Dax Harwood's comments by now. If you haven't, let me read them for you now. He's gone through this awful experience, him and his family, over the last 18 months that he's just spoken out about. Dax has revealed on Instagram stories that over the last year and a half, let me read the words. He said, unfortunately, over the last year and a half, myself, my mum, and now my wife have all been either stalked, threatened, or verbally attacked by an individual on Instagram. AEW and I will be working with authorities to put this matter to rest. They know your name, who you are, and where you live. Please be fans, but leave it at that. I try to be as polite as I can to people waiting in hotels and airports, and even ignore the ones who hate me. However, when you bring my family into it, we have to draw the line. Now imagine that. Imagine being Dax Harwood. You know, you're out there night after night, week after week, month after month, year after year, you know, putting your body on the line for fans' escapist entertainment. And you're a professional performer, you're a character, but there is no right to drag your family into it or your personal life. Dax's message couldn't be clearer that we just need to be fans and leave it at that. CM Punk, just a week or two ago, shared something very, very, very similar. CM Punk, obviously never one to bite his tongue or hold his words, has spoken out of this before, but he went on Instagram and his message couldn't be clearer. CM Punk said, "We unfortunately have to have this conversation again. Do not turn up at airports. Do not show up at hotels. I cannot believe I have to say this. Do not follow people. You've repeatedly been politely told no. Respect it. You are not a fan. You are a stalker, and you will be treated as such. Respect the boundaries and stop harassing people." Now, CM Punk's obviously always said what's on his mind, but those words particularly hit home because you can just tell how fed up and exhausted he is that he's having to have this conversation yet again. You know, this guy's been wrestling all over the world for decades, and he's still having to tell mostly grown adults not to follow him around baggage claim. I mean, it really is beyond belief. If you saw the footage of what happened to Rhea Ripley a couple of months back, I mean, I felt absolutely sickened watching it, and you'll see how bad the situation is getting. Like, that Rhea Ripley situation was genuinely scary. While she was in Paris, fans completely mobbed her outside her hotel. They pressed her against a car, blocked the door, and they shoved phones into their face. It was like this pack of zombies. And she later tweeted exactly that. "Remember, we are people. Do not swarm me or anyone like a pack of rabid zombies. No means no." Like, watching that clip of Rhea honestly made me feel really uncomfortable because she looked terrified. You could see that from a mile away. She didn't look annoyed. She looked genuinely scared out of her mind, and rightly so. Who wouldn't be in that situation? I mean, I just don't know what's going on here, and I don't know why anyone feels it's acceptable to treat a public figure, in this case wrestlers, in this way. Like, why are so many wrestlers suddenly having to speak out and draw lines in the sand about this? Why are they having to define what is and absolutely isn't acceptable behaviour from fans? Like, why is this having to be explained so openly and clearly? I mean, part of it lies in the fact, I guess, that wrestling fans have always been fiercely passionate. I mean, that's what makes this community amazing. You know, as a fan, you have this very special connection with the people in the ring. You follow their storylines, you follow their careers for years or even decades. You watch their interviews, you follow them on social media, you see their lives unfold before your very eyes, and it starts to feel like you know them over time. But that's where the danger starts, because the line between connection and entitlement can get blurred really, really fast. Fans can feel that they have ownership over the talent in the ring when they really don't. And it's starting to seem like a lot of fans don't even seem to realise where they're crossing the line anymore. I mean, patiently waiting outside an arena for a quick selfie or an autograph is one thing. You know, if the talent is open to coming up to you and having a conversation with you, then absolutely fine. Wait patiently, be respectful, get your selfie, get your autograph, go home. Swarming a wrestler as they're travelling through an airport or checking into a hotel or out for a meal for their family is unacceptable on every single level. Insisting they sign 20 Funko Pop boxes in a row is unacceptable on every single level. There's this famous clip that's done around all over social media now of Rey Mysterio, who refused to sign for a supposed fan, who swarmed him at an airport at 5 a.m. with this sea of Funko Pop covers, which were obviously just going to immediately be sold. And Rey said no, quite rightly. Obviously, he wouldn't do that, but he shouldn't have been put in that position in the first place. And this is kind of a problem, and where we're getting to here is, like, to be a wrestler these days, it's beginning to feel like you're never able to be fully off the clock, and that's just not on. Like, on this channel, I have spoke with countless legends from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s who, you know, were global names in the World Wrestling Federation, WCW, ECW, etc. They sacrificed so much of their family time and their health and well-being for our entertainment and our memories as fans. A lot of the conversations I have, we unpick actually how much they lost in their personal lives to entertain us. The least we can do is leave them alone when they're not performing. You know, the reality is, these days, through conventions, through cameos, through OnlyFans, if that's your thing, whatever it is, you know, there are so many ways to share a personal connection with wrestling talents, and to give some money back to them in turn, if that's what you really crave in your life. If you really, really want to have that one-on-one connection, there are ways to do that now. You don't have to harass them at airports or when they're out with their family. I mean, just imagine finishing a 14-hour day in your job and then being surrounded by strangers demanding something of you, demanding that you give them something else just for them. I mean, that's not love. That's not showing love. That's not showing respect. And that's not fandom. That's just genuinely fanatical. The really sad thing is that most wrestlers do still go out of their way to make time for fans, even when they are rude. You know, they'll take selfies, they'll sign stuff, they'll shake hands, even when they look like they've been hit by a truck after a match. But when people start crossing the line, waiting at hotels, chasing cars, harassing talents' families, it just ruins it for everyone. Yeah, suddenly meet and greets get cancelled, access gets tighter, security ramps up, all because a few people couldn't just say thank you for your work and walk away as fans. I think what Punk, Dax and Rhea Ripley are all saying in their own ways is very, very simple. Show some respect that we are human and behave towards us as such. None of them are asking for special treatment. They're not wanting anything special from fans. They're simply asking to be able to travel safely to their destination, to see their loved ones without being filmed, and to not worry about strangers following them home or attacking them. That shouldn't be controversial. I shouldn't have to be putting a video out right now about this. It should just be how it is. Can absolutely still be a passionate fan. We can all still cheer our lungs out, hold up signs, buy the merchandise, share our love online, voice our opinions online. That's the great part of wrestling and what makes this community so wonderful. But the fans that take it too far, and this is a tiny, tiny portion of fans, but it's fans that are beginning to ruin it for everyone, need to remember that that connection we have exists because of what wrestlers give us in the ring, not because we have access to their personal lives. We have no rights whatsoever to their personal lives, unless they wish to share a window into their personal lives with us. And the biggest issue with this, and why I wanted to record a video today about this, is, when we respect those boundaries, the fan experience actually gets better. Wrestlers become more relaxed and they give more back to us in return. They want to be there. They want to meet the fans. They're more open to interacting. They know they're safe. And that's when you get these wonderful, genuine, memorable moments between superstar and fan. The kinds of interactions that actually you want to tell people about. When everything goes too far the other way, we get into a situation where security is just going to ramp up to such a degree that it's not going to be possible to go anywhere near to a talent eventually at an airport, because they're going to have to be so closely guarded if we're not careful. I'm not here to lecture anyone. I don't want this to come off like a lecture. I know that everyone that really engages with this channel has a huge amount of respect for professional wrestling and for those talents involved. And I'm a fan too. At heart, I still get huge thrill from meeting my heroes. It doesn't matter how many of them I've had an opportunity to meet now. I still get excited when I meet my heroes. Of course I do. But I also believe that loving this business means protecting the people who make it possible. And if we really care about those talents, the likes of the Punks, the Ripleys, the Harwoods, we really need to start showing it through how we respect them, both inside and outside of the ropes. So if any of this resonates with you, if maybe you feel like you have taken it too far in the past, maybe just the next time that you spot a wrestler in public and a swarm of crowds starts descending on them, maybe just, instead of thinking, how do I get something from them, maybe just take a moment to think, what can I give back to them? Maybe it's just giving them their space. Maybe it's a simple smile or a nod of recognition and expecting nothing more in return. Maybe it's simply letting them have their time with their family and get on with their day when they're not entertaining inside the ring. Because when fans act with respect, everyone wins. It's that simple. The wrestlers win, the promotions win, all of us, this incredible community that keeps wrestling alive, wins. So it's time to stop the madness, quite frankly. That's what I'm getting at here. I don't want to read any more wrestlers having to say this. It's getting out of hand and it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now for the good of this industry and for the good of everyone involved. That's me today, Ben Veal, Wrestling Life. Bit of a rant, but a rant that is grounded in my love and respect for professional wrestling that I know so many of you out there share. Thank you for joining me on this one. If it has resonated with you, please do share it. Not to call anyone out, but to remind people what it means to be a true wrestling fan that is passionate, supportive, and respectful. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Be good to each other. Bye.